My father was a tireless advocate for the law. He was a criminal prosecutor. Some say ruthless, others say righteous. Yeah, I'm cut from the same cloth. I can't really remember who I was before I became a cop. It's my job to make bad things happen to bad people.
It's like someone took my heart and tore it right out of my chest. Why has God forsaken our family?
She may have known who it was.
I want to have my baby back.
What started as a night of babysitting turned into a night of horror for one family.
There was another young London woman murdered, and still they're looking for her killer.
It's just like the life was drained right out of us when we heard that it was her.
Lost a sister. Lost my best friend. We got cheated on seeing her get married, given birth.
We were all broken. We were all broken and doing the best we could.
They raped her, they beat her. This man strangled her, stared into her face and watched her life slip away. What kind of an animal does this?
It's a nice picture. Was this for what, her high school graduation?
Yeah.
Yes.
This picture was taken
3 days before she was murdered,
Oh, was
October
it?
3rd.
Okay.
Her whole face lit up when she smiled.
We were very, very close. We were always doing things, going to the beach. Things were good. Last thing I remember is watching her walk across the 50 yards away.
At 11 o'clock that night, she came out of the apartment building and she blew me a kiss and I blew her a kiss back. And that's the last time I saw Donna alive.
This is the stuff of nightmares that, babysitters being stalked in the night and murdered. And this is every parent's worst nightmare.
People say, Carol, you should be over it.
No.
You can't. I want to hold her, I want to hug her again. I can't take the hurt. I can't take
We would like your permission to take this case on.
You have my permission 150%.
Mine too.
If there's people out there who know something or are involved, they'll be outed.
Their expectations are so high and so much hope is resting on this. It's kind of like you could see them light up. You are my hope.
There's a lot of collective trauma in this family, but seldom do I see, so many decades later, the type of raw emotion and palpable anger. This is a family that epitomizes what this initiative is about.
I've been a cop and a professor of criminology for years, and I've used that experience to assemble a squad of civilian subject matter experts.
They must approach each case completely unbiased, to not box themselves into conventional thinking, to bring fresh eyes and new technologies to the table.
Their job, and mine, is to investigate the coldest of cold cases, the murders that time forgot.
Donna Jean Awcock. Original file number
83-125. This was the 125th murder in rural Ontario in 1983. On October 12th, 1983, Donna Jean Alcock was 17 years old. Approximately 6 p.m., she leaves her apartment here to go babysitting in the next building north. She's babysitting for a woman named Michelle who was going out to a local tavern that night. Approximately 1 a.m. now on October 13th, Michelle was driven home by a man she met at a local bar. She tells this man, wait in the car until I send the babysitter home, then you can come in. Michelle goes in, tells Donna Jean she can leave, but first gives her some money and says, can you please go to the nearby variety store and buy me a pack of cigarettes before you go home? The store is located in a commercial plaza just south of the apartment complex. By 2:30 a.m., Donna Jean never returned. Michelle goes to the store herself, and the clerk confirms, as he did later with police, that Donna Jean did in fact show up to buy the cigarettes, but that she looked terrified. The deposition is that she looked as though she had been crying. The next morning, at 9 a.m., Carol wakes up and finds that Donna Jean never came home, so she calls the police. The next afternoon, October 14th, 2 boys searching a nearby ravine discover the remains of what was suspected to be Donna Jean. When police finally arrive, they confirm that this is in fact Donna Jean's body. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled with an orange plastic bag shoved down her throat, still protruding from her mouth when she was found.
It was heartbreaking to hear the facts. It was done in such a vicious way.
An innocent young girl type of thing with her whole life to look forward to, and gone, just like that.
As the squad digs into this case, they're going to very quickly find themselves in uncharted territory. And any civilian squad that undertakes such a massive task as this is bound to only be as strong as its weakest link. So they all need to rise to the occasion and demonstrate the same confidence that got them here in the first place. Where do we go from here? This is a sex crime.
DNA.
There is DNA.
And has this DNA already been entered into the CODIS database?
It is in the CODIS database. CODIS is an acronym that stands for Combined DNA Index System. That system has 2 components: crime scene samples on one hand, convicted offender samples on the other hand. Every 24 hours, the 2 systems speak to each other and compare samples. If you're in that database and you've left your DNA at any crime scene, you will be matched to it.
And is there any links between it and any other scenes?
There has not been a CODIS hit as of yet.
Okay.
Which begs the question, does someone do this and just stop? Michelle Maynard is the woman Donna Jean was babysitting for the night she was murdered. One of the last people to see Donna Jean alive. Michelle disappeared for 6 days immediately after Donna Jean's murder.
6 days, you just kind of go underground. That seems very odd to me.
I think she would be hiding out if it was somebody she knew that did it.
If this murder had happened to an acquaintance of yours, wouldn't you be just there with open arms?
Who was this man she met at a local bar? What does he know? Why has he never come forward? Police went out and they canvassed the bars that the 2 had been at. They developed a description that enabled this composite drawing. The mystery man, as police and the media dubbed him. This was disseminated nationally. Numerous tips were received, all were checked out. Who was this man that drove Michelle home? The mystery man. A lot of things have been tried with this case and failed. So, where do we go from here? Monty?
I'm going to track down Michelle. Hopefully some more information that we can dig up here.
Because I think she needs to be spoken to, no question. Why doesn't somebody start by looking at the correlation between all of the things we have going on in this case, and how often does this come up?
Yeah, I hear correlation, I hear data. I can do this.
Daniel.
I can look at the different virtual communities, different portals, see if there's any chatter out there about Donna's murder.
I would be really interested in talking to those 2 boys, the ones that found Donna's body.
They were interviewed thoroughly and ruled out by DNA.
I think they may know more.
How did the boys know to find Donna Jean's body where it was? Everyone here knows what's expected of them. Let's start thawing this case out. Let's go.
Give it our best shot.
It's mind-boggling and incredibly frustrating to think that an innocent girl, 17 years old, was abducted in plain view of dozens of balconies so close to her own home.
There's not a lot to go on. It just seems really skinny.
This man of mystery, who is that? The woman that Donna Jean was babysitting for. What happened to her? How is it that in that short span from door to door, she disappears? The squad of civilian subject matter experts and I are examining with fresh eyes the 30-year-old murder of Donna Jean Alcock. I've tasked Monty with locating Michelle Maynard, the woman for whom Donna Jean was babysitting the night she was murdered. Michelle returned to her apartment that night with a man known only as the Mystery Man, a man who's never been located, never been even identified. In order to find him today, 30 years later, we first need to find Michelle Maynard.
There's some things that don't add up to me with Michelle Maynard. I find it very odd that police couldn't find her for 6 days after the murder.
I still don't know exactly what she told them, but she had plenty of time to rehearse the story.
Wouldn't you want to try and help? I'm looking for a missing person. Her name's Michelle Maynard. Maybe you can help me out. Doesn't look familiar at all.
I haven't seen her.
No. There's lots of different ways to find people. Like, the very first thing I do is pick up a phone book, see if there's a name and an address. You could Google them. Then you go onto Facebook. Go to places wherever people meet and talk.
She looks familiar, but yeah. Check around there, like the meth clinic, the coffee house.
I haven't found her yet, but I'm close.
I'm calling Todd. He's one of the boys that found Donna's body. He was also an ex-boyfriend of hers. Even though he was excluded by police DNA, the family still thinks that he found the body too quickly. They think he knew where to look.
Can you tell me what happened that day that you found Donna?
I had a roommate at the time. He had a dog, and we had the dog with us. So just kind of walked around there, and everything just seemed ordinary, you know what I mean? Like, headed towards the cornfield. We walked over to the gravel pit. Then we headed towards a dead-end road, and the end of that road goes to a path that leads up to Fanshawe Dam. When we left there, then that's when the dog started acting a little weird. Started whining and pulling at its chain and kind of running back and forth and stuff. I was on the riverside. We seen what looked like a body. I just stopped right there as soon as I seen what, I didn't know for sure it was Donna because I think from where I was, she was face down. You wouldn't know that that was a dead-end road if you weren't from the area. You wouldn't know that it was that secluded. It had to be somebody with a car. I honestly believe it was somebody that had to know the area.
Todd and his friend found the body quickly because they had a dog. His insight that he thought it was someone local is useful information that we need to verify. And once we do that, it may lead us to our killer.
What we're looking at here are two possible scenarios, two circles, if you will. An inner circle are family, friends, neighbors, immediate acquaintances, and then an outer circle, a stranger.
I presume the mystery man from the bar would fit into the outer circle then.
Right. A drifter, a transient, some kind of external predator. Assessing the scene environmentally, we'll get a better sense of which of the two circles is more likely. We don't know which route Donna took to the convenience store on the night she was killed, so we're headed to the apartment block where she babysat to see if we can find the most logical one. Wally, how's it going?
Hi, good.
Tammy's husband Wally's here with us this morning. He's basically our guide on the ground. What kind of lighting in the parking lot at the time?
There was no lights outside at all.
At all?
Period, no. Nobody heard nothing, nobody saw nothing. It's almost like...
Vanished.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaky to be walking down the same hallway that Donna might have walked down the night she died.
Okay, this is the apartment she was babysitting in. And she would have come out this door and went down the stairs to leave.
So she doesn't need to walk past any other apartments on this floor?
Yeah, the next nearest exit is way down the hall.
She leaves this apartment, make a straight shot out to this stairwell here, descend the stairs, and the exit is right at the bottom of the stairwell.
Yes. This is clearly the path of least resistance.
There's no reason for her to interact with anyone in the building or pass anyone in the building unless they're in the stairwell.
It's one thing to see this complex on a map, make some measurements. It's quite another to visit the site, stand outside the very door where she left.
She would have started over here.
My guess is that the suspect watched Donna come out of the apartment, go to the store. We know she made it to the store. That then provided him with her path of approach that he could then expect her to follow when she returned, and that's when he attacked.
Taking the route we identified, I'm going to take some measurements and pinpoint the distance between the apartment and the convenience store. I want to plot the distance against a database of similar abductions, breaking them down into abductions by family members, abductions by acquaintances, and abductions by total strangers, and we'll then see into which category Donna best fits.
Take it right to the door.
It's 108.3 meters. The best conceivable outcome of this mapping effort is that it helps us to catch a killer.
I've been trying to track down Michelle Maynard, the woman that Donna was babysitting for the night she was killed, and finally, I found her. Yeah, Mike, Monty, how are you? I spoke to Michelle. Yeah. She's willing to meet with you. I'll tell her.
Finally, we've got something. I can't wait to speak with this Michelle, find out why it is she went missing for 6 days after the killing. What we need are some new clues about what happened that night. The civilian squad and I are examining the 30-year-old murder of Donna Jean Alcock in London, Ontario. By drawing on experience from their personal and professional lives, the team is bringing fresh eyes to this case. Monty has successfully located Michelle Maynard, the woman for whom Donna Jean was babysitting the night she was murdered. I now need to meet with Michelle and find out what she might remember, and more importantly, what she may have not told people over the years when it comes to this case. Take us through that night.
I was going to the bar, so she went to babysit for me, and this total stranger was sitting with my friends, offered me a ride home.
Did you assist the police in creating that composite drawing? There was a composite released.
Yes, I did, but I guess that was no help.
Did he say where he was from?
No, I don't think so, no. You know, we got the pizza. We was eating some of it on the way home.
How much pizza was left in the box?
Maybe four slices or something after we got done eating.
In this particular case, we see some obvious examples of selective memory. She remembers there was 4 pieces of pizza left in the box, but she doesn't remember what she did in that hour that Donna Jean went missing.
We were out of cigarettes, so I said to Donna, would you go to the store and get us some cigarettes? Never thought nothing. She never come back.
How long after Donna Jean disappeared did you give a statement to the police?
That same day after I found out that she didn't come home.
And did they ever touch base with you after that for further details?
Not that I recall, no, because I was shortly after that, I left the neighborhood.
How long after?
maybe a month, maybe, or maybe a couple weeks, something like that.
Maybe a week?
I think I was on the verge of going before this all happened anyway.
Once again, she seems selectively forgetful about when and why she left the area after Donna Jean's murder. This makes me wonder if she's holding something back intentionally.
With the use of the composite sketch, I'm trying to find anybody who may know or recognize this mystery man that Michelle left with on that night. Why hasn't he come forward if he's got nothing to hide? You know of anyone that would be here right now that might have been still comes here that would have been around? The regulars are looking at composite sketch, and we'll see where it goes. Maybe you can help me out. You've been coming here a long time? I've had zero luck trying to track down the mystery man. Not surprising. It has been 30 years.
I've had Peter conduct various research to get a sense of the statistical likelihood of someone being kidnapped by an absolute stranger. I want him to then compare those figures to the data that we were able to gather at the scene of where Donna Jean was kidnapped. Did Donna Jean encounter someone known to her, or was this an attack by a random stranger?
Let's have a look here on the smart board. We have an overview. Statistics relating to the sexual assault and murder of Donna. Homicide following abduction is extremely rare. Only 0.4% of these abductions end in murder.
I mean, that's negligible, right?
It is.
Less than 1/2 of 1%.
Right. Only approximately 10% of victims taken from their home or around their home, about 100 meters radius, are taken by a complete stranger.
These sound like the two least probable scenarios statistically. Stranger abduction at or near the home, and an abduction period that ends in homicide. So combined then, what does the data tell you?
It's more likely than not that Donna was abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered by someone known to her.
As a media strategist, I'm reviewing newspapers, online materials, forums to find any connection to Donna Jean's case, to see if there were ever low-life criminals living in the area at the time of Donna's murders that we should be checking into. This cannot be a coincidence. I really think I'm onto something.
Okay, Dania, what have you got?
So I went through the news footage, the archival research, online, and I found something quite bone-chilling. There was an escaped convicted sex killer who was living in London when Donna went missing. He was convicted in the 1976 sexting of a 15-year-old and again in 1978 of a 16-year-old. He was living not only in London at the time, but around the same apartment that Michelle Maynard lived in.
To me, it's remarkable that he lived around the same apartment complex where Donna was the night she was murdered.
Was he linked to her? Did he murder her?
This is like lightning striking twice in the same place. It merits looking into full bore. That is remarkable.
He went by the alias name of Joseph James Tripp, and his real name, Joe Shepard.
We have what we call the +1 rule. Where there's one sex killer lurking, there's usually one or more alongside them. And if he's running with a crew in the area, we have to wonder what influence he could have imparted on them. I'm very curious to see who was in his inner circle. That even if they didn't know he was Joe Shepard and what he had done, would have still been impressed by this sort of criminal experience that he offered.
These sexual deviants, predators, I can see now with the internet that back in the day, it's not something you would just chat with someone. I wonder how they networked.
This has been the question for years. How did Bernardo and Homolka find each other by chance? Could all these lives have been saved? So Daniel, look deeper into this Joe Shepard guy. I want to know exactly if he's been interviewed about this case or other local unsolved cases. These guys don't just stop. I need to go back to the family and see what exactly they know about this Shepard connection.
So our investigation so far has revealed a few points of interest that I need to ask you some clarifying questions about.
Okay.
A Joseph Shepard or a Joe Shepard.
Yes.
What was your knowledge of him?
That same night that Donna was murdered, Joe Shepard and Michael Maynard were all drinking together on Joe Shepard's balcony.
The woman for whom Donna Jean was babysitting the night she was murdered, Michelle.
Yes.
She had a brother,
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
So Joe Shepard and Mike Maynard knew each other.
Yes.
Yes. He just hung around there because his sister lived there.
Okay. So he was routinely in the complex.
Yes. He had said to one of my cousins, it was a couple of days before Donna was murdered, he said, someday I'm going to have my way with her.
Her is?
Donna Jean.
I learned a number of important things. The affiliation between Michael Maynard and Joe Shepard, who were associating the night of Donna Jean's disappearance. What's also remarkable is the disclosure that Michael Maynard had made statements in the days leading to Donna Jean's murder that he was going to have his way with her.
Hi, you've reached Renee's cell phone. I can't take your call right now, but please leave a message and I'll call you right back.
Renee, I need you to look into Michael Maynard. We either need to rule him out or elevate him to person of interest, the same as Joe Shepard. If you could get on that as soon as you can and get back to me, I'd appreciate it.
It was very difficult to get any information about Michael Maynard, either in print or online. I'm still checking to see whether Michael's DNA was compared against that of Donna's killer. I did find an obituary, however, that was printed in the London Free Press in 2001. The only information about his cause of death was that he died suddenly, so any information he may have had about Donna's murder has died with him.
Hi, Mike. It's Antonella here. As I was going through the files, I came across a name that I've never heard before in association to this case. Her name is Joanne, and I think she's somebody we need to speak to. She was at the bar the same time that Michelle was there with the mystery man.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
It's Mike. We spoke on the phone.
Yes.
You were there that night at the Town and Country, correct?
Yes. There were 5 or 6 of us sitting at the table. The guy in question, now he was sitting at our table, but I don't ever remember hearing his name, or he seemed like a nice enough guy, like he was friendly.
Nothing weird about him?
No, not at all.
Take me through Michelle's interaction with this guy.
She's pretty drunk.
Joanne to me seems credible. She has a very clear and independent recollection of the events that night.
Michelle left with this guy. The press called him the mystery man. This is the composite drawing.
That's what he came up with between mine and hers. Put the two of them together and come up with this.
So this is basically a combination of what you remembered and what Michelle remembered?
Yeah. What I was seeing in my head,
right.
He couldn't put it down on paper.
This is a great sketch, but it doesn't sound like it's the mystery man. This is a combination of 2, maybe 3 different people. I'm going back to talk with Michelle Maynard to see what she has to say about her brother's involvement with Joe Shepard. Last time I saw her, I felt she was holding back. Maybe this time she'll come clean. Did your brother Mike ever express an interest to you in any of the Alcott girls?
No.
On that night, did you see your brother Mike anywhere around the apartment complex?
No.
Joe Tripp, whose real name was Joe Shepard, was an escaped sex killer from the United States, from Tennessee.
Oh my God.
He was a priority in the United States, and he was living across from you.
Oh my God. No, I did not know that.
And Mike never brought up the name.
No.
I have no doubts that Michelle has carried this case with her over the years. But I also have no doubts that she and her brother Mike had detailed conversations about Donna Jean's murder up to the time of his death. The question that remains is whether or not Michelle has convinced herself that a certain series of events occurred that night as a matter of selective memory, or because she's decided to be deliberately misleading. To answer that question, I need her to take a polygraph exam, a lie detector test. If we provided you the opportunity of a polygraph with a private examiner,
I would take it.
in trying to track down the killer of Donna Jean Alcock, the squad and I have come to the conclusion there was most likely someone local. Michael Maynard was someone local at the time and is a possible suspect. I've asked his sister Michelle to undergo a polygraph test.
You understand why you're here today?
Yes, I do.
To confirm whether or not she's been protecting him all these years.
This goes above your heart.
Don O'Connor, he's a very well-respected and experienced polygraph examiner. What he's going to tell me, you can take that to the bank.
Please remain still. The test is about to begin.
It's not completely foolproof, but it will provide us with some insight into what she really knows and point us in the right direction and where to go from here. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
She seems to have highly selective memories of specific events. Do you think maybe where she's unclear on things, she's just making stuff up?
The two issues that we explored was, did she know for sure who committed the murder?
Right.
If someone had told her, confessed to her in the last 30 years, when she said no to that question, she was telling the truth. And also an issue, was she withholding any information? And she passed that question also. She's not withholding any information.
On the key issues, you're satisfied?
She's been truthful, yeah.
Thank you very much.
No problem. I hope you get the person responsible.
For 30 years, people have speculated that Michelle had something to do with what happened to Donna Jean that night. The tests confirm that's not the case.
I also found out that the police tested Michael's DNA, and it was not a match for Donna's killer.
From here on in, I'm going to start looking at who else in that housing complex, in that neighborhood, who may have known Donna Jean was responsible for her murder.
I've been looking into Joe Shepard, who was living around the same apartment complex as Michelle Maynard and Donna Jean when she was murdered. I got the information on Joe Shepard. In 1988, the police captured him and extradited him back to Tennessee. In 1995, the police investigated Shepard as a suspect in Donna's murder.
Okay.
Ran his blood sample against her DNA from her recovered body. And then he was excluded as a suspect. And he actually passed away in 2010 in prison. Shepard seemed like a perfect match, a convicted sex killer in the area that night.
It's important to investigate each lead thoroughly, to not jump to conclusions, to not get boxed into a specific theory. Joe Shepard looked like a strong suspect, but in the end, he's excluded by DNA. We're really struggling with this case now. All of our leads have come to nothing so far. Donna's case is so random, so apparently isolated. We're dealing with someone familiar with the area, who resided in the area and knew its layout, knew the dump site, knew who Donna was. Hello? Just when I thought we had run out of steam, I get a call from someone who found out what we were doing here, has some information they want to bring to us, and they want to talk.
Between the ages of 17 and 18, walking into a home and hearing men in the living room, one was talking about things he had done to girls.
How many people would have been in the room?
There was 6, 7 guys.
There's 4 reasons why people offer themselves up as sources. I use the acronym MICE: money, ideology, coercion, or ego. In this case, she's doing this because she believes it's the right thing. It's an ideology. And that is the most credible reason a source comes forward and why we need to listen to her.
I remember them talking about Donna and the apartment building on.
They mentioned the apartments. Is there any statement he made to implicate himself?
I remember them talking about the car that he was driving. He had to get painted that night. His name was.
Okay, and said this.
Yes. He was laughing about the things he did. And then I wanted to leave because I got really scared, and his wife didn't want me to leave right away because I looked scared, and she just wanted me to calm down before I left.
So he's talking about what happened to Donna. He's using the first person I. He mentions a garbage bag. He mentions a car that then gets repainted that night. This source to me seems very credible. She has a very clear and independent recollection, and I sense genuine fear on her behalf. She also mentioned an ex of hers who has his own independent recollection of these same events, but for whatever reason, he's chosen to keep it a secret. When your ex would break down and cry, what would he say to you?
That he was scared, that he knew that it was, that I better not ever say anything.
So someone has independently verified what you remember?
Absolutely.
This is remarkable new information. We need to find out what his connection was to Donna Jean, if he knew her, where he lived then, and where he lives now. I'm really wondering if he was also part of Joe Shepard's inner circle. As a cop, you learn to acquaint yourself pretty quick with the +1 rule. Where there's one, others will follow. Could be a weapon, could be a suspect. Where there's one sex killer, there's usually one or more alongside them. I'm wondering if he was the +1. Breaking developments. I've been approached by an anonymous source. She has detailed information with respect to statements made by a man in the years following Donna Jean's murder. So Monty, when I give you his name, I need you to find out A, if he's still alive, and B, if he is, where he is. Renee, I need you to look into his criminal background. See what you can find in the archives with respect to other convictions. See if they fit within the framework of Donna Jean's murder. Time is of the essence. Let's go.
Do you know by chance where he lived? What I got to do now is find this person of interest. I got a lot of contacts in London. I got his name, and I know when he left. DC, huh?
There isn't anything just with his first and last name, but I'll try a couple different variations.
And they're just gonna have to go through maybe some of their friends' connections and see whether or not anything is relevant.
It helps to have something really to pull you in a direction that you feel is making progress.
We could be hot on the trail right now. Potentially, this could lead us somewhere.
While the rest of the squad firms up our suspect's connection to Donna Jean Alcock, I'm going back to Joanne, the woman who saw Michelle leave with the mystery man the night Donna Jean was killed. It's my thought that if we can redo the composite drawing using modern technologies and get an accurate picture of this guy, that the police can track him down. So this blank face matches more or less the existing composite's head shape.
The chin is way off.
The chin is way off, so you remember that.
It's more of a wider chin.
We're going to be refining this composite drawing 30 years later using new technology. It's developed by a former LAPD and Baltimore police sketch artist. I want to use the original drawing as a referent and then just enhance it. Anything distinct? Bad teeth, good teeth, big lips, small lips?
Yeah, it's not as thin as that.
How are you with the hairline?
Yeah, that's good. He had a bit of sideburns too, though.
This is a person of interest. You don't know who he is or what value he holds in the investigation. You just know you need to find him. We are at the end. As you know, a tip was received suggesting that a man who lived nearby in the years after Donna Jean's murder was boasting about his involvement. He frequented that apartment complex. He had associates in Michelle's building. The question is, where is he now?
I found him.
Of course.
He's in plain sight, in his own name.
What do we know, Renee, about his criminal history?
Well, his last contact with the judicial system was when he was acquitted in the case of a rape of a 14-year-old girl. And based on where he was living in East London at that time, he would likely have very intimate knowledge of the dump site.
This guy lived in the area at the time of Donna Jean's murder. He had associates in Donna Jean's building. He had knowledge of and access to the dump site nearby. He was actually boasting about his being responsible for Donna Jean's murder in the years after her death, and he was arrested for the sexual assault of another teenage girl in subsequent years, acquitted, and then went in the wind. You add it all up, and it speaks for itself. I feel we are closer now than ever. People are aware, as a result of your efforts, what we're doing and are coming out of the woodwork. This case is being worked and worked hard by the police. But trust me, you've done your job here. And that's what I'm going to tell Donna Jean's family. The squad can take this case no further, and the police have received our research and analysis. If I can turn your mind back to when we first started this, and one of the first questions I asked all of you was, what do you think happened? And you said you had no idea, other than it was your lingering suspicion that someone in Michelle's family was somehow involved or covering for somebody. And we had her take a polygraph examination. And the results indicate she's being truthful.
What?
She lied.
What? No, she didn't, apparently.
She never did. Those questions include her covering for her brother Mike that have been cleared on DNA. I interviewed Michelle at length. There is one thing that she was never fully truthful about, and that is the description of the man she went home with that night. There was another witness who had a very clear recollection and provided a very good description of this mystery man, as he was known. So we made a new sketch of what he actually looked like using state-of-the-art technology.
So what he looks like.
You remember what he looks like?
Yeah, he looks just like that. Did. Now he's bald, I believe.
We can't rule out she took home a guy from the neighborhood. Either way, this is the missing link. Even without the digital age enhancement complete, Laura thinks she recognizes this revised composite as a guy who was hanging around the complex at the time of Donna Jean's murder. Who knows what other new tips will come in? We're going to immediately pass this information on to the police. We also know that a viable suspect, as a result of recent tips, is...
She knew him.
We also know that this person isn't in the DNA data bank for offenders, meaning that they have not been, since the late 90s, either in prison or convicted of a violent crime.
I'm angry, confused a bit.
I just want this person caught. I want him to look in my eye so you can see what he's done to me and my family, my dad.
There's been a changing of the guard with the OPP. There is more momentum on this case probably than ever. And Donna Jean's killer is running out of places to hide.
Like, thank God for you.
It's a start.
Well, I'm going to make a bunch of copies of this, and I'm going to plaster it everywhere.
A tip will solve this case.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Every day, shocking acts are caught on camera.
Stop it! Why are you naked?
But these lawless individuals leave nothing to the imagination.
This dude is butt naked.
He's naked. He ain't got no pants on.
On this episode, a terrifying home invasion.
Wait, you're here! My house. When the person said, "This is my house," that made everything even more traumatizing.
A pizzeria is robbed in the middle of the night.
They see the suspect inside the establishment, naked, slamming the cash register drawer to the floor.
A woman leaving her house gets the scare of her life.
In that moment, it's either fight or flight.
And a dramatic school drop-off both dad and daughter will never forget.
Oh my God, there's a naked man running down the street.
You wonder, what's he gonna do?
Holy!
Nestled in the Santa Monica Mountains, Bel Air is an affluent Southern California zip code.
It is Beverly Hills adjacent. It is dotted with huge mansions, giant landscapes, and even bigger security at all the homes that line the streets. It's not the type of community that you associate with high crime.
Which makes what happens at Matt Saab's secluded home even more shocking.
It was a Thursday, and I was staying home. I took the day off. I went for a run, and my wife took the kids to their grandma's house. I came after my run. I went upstairs. I was in the shower when I heard the security camera going off. I thought my wife was home early, so I didn't pay attention.
At the same time, Matt's wife Monica receives an alert on her phone from their home security system. Cameras around the entire house are being triggered.
She just looked to see, is the delivery guy, who is it? And she saw a naked man outside. I go out of the shower. I hear a lot of noise downstairs. Again, I think it's my wife and the kids are home. I mean, you don't think an intruder just came to your house?
Someone came inside the house.
Inside whose house?
I saw it on the camera.
On the driveway? Where's someone?
Inside our house.
He went to my gym bag and put on my shorts. He put on my shoes. He hears someone upstairs. It was me talking to my wife. He comes toward the noise. You're just shocked and you think maybe someone came into the wrong house? I mean, it happens. I mean, maybe the person just came to the wrong house.
Hey, what are you doing here? My house. What are you doing here? I'm gonna call the police right now. I'm gonna call the police right now. No. Get out of the house.
When the person said, "This is my house," that made everything even more traumatizing to begin with.
And the guy isn't stopping. Slowly, he's heading up to him.
Right away, I knew something was not right, and I knew the best idea is not to engage. So I calmly walked away, closed the door.
Clearly, he's dealing with someone who's probably very dangerous, and the homeowner understands his limitations.
There was no lock on the door, so I'm using my body to hold the door. There's a part of you thinking that this is going to push. What's going to happen? I'm going to go in a wrestling match. So after 1 minute, when I didn't see him pushing the door, I thought, he's not here yet. Let's just run.
In that moment, it's either fight or flight. The homeowner has to climb down from his balcony, jumps off the balcony onto the hood of his car, only wearing his underwear.
I was literally on the phone telling the officer, 911 operator, that I am escaping my house.
While Matt makes his escape, the intruder continues to make himself at home. A reality not lost on Monica, who's still watching from afar.
Get the out! Now!
What?
Get out! I'll call the police! Get out!
There's speakers on a security camera, so my wife was telling the intruder, "What are you doing in our house? Get out."
Get the out! Now!
I would have tried to do the same thing as she did. You want to try to show anger and force.
Get out!
Huh?
Hopefully, you trigger some sort of reaction to get them out of there, but nothing is working with this guy. Nothing.
Daringly, Matt Saab has escaped his Bel Air home, but in the process, a naked man with unknown intentions is still inside.
As I'm calling 911, I also call the security, the private security that we have. I decide that, hey, let's not stay here. So I climb on the balcony to my car. I jumped out. I'm barefooted. So now what is this guy gonna do? Is he just gonna steal stuff? Because he didn't go through my wallet. I was worried that he set the whole house on fire.
After 20 agonizing minutes, the community's private security detail arrives.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
When he saw the gun, he respected the gun. He got down, and then they handcuffed him. And once I got in the house, I tried to talk to him.
What do you want to have? What's your name? What's your name?
He didn't say a word to me.
With the naked perp in handcuffs, Matt decides to check his 29 security cameras to learn what transpired during his shower.
This particular burglar was able to gain entry into the residence by entering an unlocked vehicle, and he was able to use this garage door remote control to enter the residence.
And it's the dining room camera that captures something so horrifying. It provides a hint to Matt and his wife how dangerous this man really was.
Most things we realized after everything was gone, because you have so many cameras. Hold on. And then you find the birds.
These were beloved pets. They cherished these birds. They had 2 children. This was their pets. Watching this scene unfold churns my stomach.
After being taken into custody by Los Angeles police, the intruder is identified as 34-year-old Paul Keon, a transient.
This is certainly an example of the homeowner using the security system the way that it was meant to be used. It was very important that not only did the alarm alert the wife who wasn't home so that she could notify her husband who was in that home with the crazed individual, but that he had the presence of mind to leave and then call authorities and let them come in and deal with him.
When we remodeled this house, we built a balcony with doors. And of course, the wife was kind of against that. And I always made a joke that, hey, if something happens, we need to run away, we need to escape. I can't escape from the balcony. But once I can tell my wife I was right, it was a good idea to build a balcony.
In January 2022, Paul Keon is found guilty on burglary and animal cruelty charges and is sentenced to 2 years in state prison.
It just made this whole thing weird. I mean, someone nude coming to our driveway. I mean, this whole thing, yeah, because there's so many questions even today. How'd you end up in Bel Air? How'd you end up in a hillside? At one point, did he get naked? Why did he get naked? It's just still puzzling.
I would describe Oakville as a sleepy bedroom community. A lot of people work in Toronto and come out here. It's very quiet.
Scott McKinnon and his daughter Lola have a routine during the school year. Every morning, they wake up, get dressed, and head outside to their car.
I take Lola to school around 8 o'clock in the morning every day. A lot of times we talk about music and bands. Lola's a big fan.
I remember that morning I took a picture of the sky because there's this rhyme that goes, red sky in the morning, sailors take warning, red sky at night, sailors delight. Should have taken warning.
As they approach a busy intersection just 2 blocks from Lola's school, they hear sirens. Instinctively, Lola pulls out her phone and starts filming.
Lola was like Wyatt Earp. She, in one move, just pulled it out and was filming.
I saw this guy and I was like, oh my God, there's a naked man running down the street. Holy.
It's weird, it's freaky. Like, you just can't process why that guy's there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God. What is that guy's problem? I hope the cops get him.
The McKinnon's initial shock quickly turns to concern.
If he's willing to run fully naked down a main street that's got to be full of rocks and broken glass, you wonder what's he going to do? And he was running right by our car.
I did check to see if the doors were locked. There started off 1 or 2 cop cars at the scene.
There was 8 or 10 police cars by the end of it.
That's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen.
These officers eventually catch up with this individual who's been running and are able to gain control and get this individual into handcuffs. And so thankfully, the officers didn't cause any great injury to the individual. The individual didn't run out into traffic and get hurt by oncoming traffic.
I suggested maybe a husband came home and this guy was with his wife or his girlfriend or something. We didn't know.
The situation is even more dangerous than the McKinnons realize.
Just blocks away from where this occurred, the suspect assaulted a homeowner, stabbed him, and took off all their clothes, jumped out of a window of the house, and then took off running.
Once Lola and I found out that this guy actually had assaulted someone, it did put a little different spin on our incident.
It was just kind of like shocking.
Thankfully, the officers were able to apprehend this guy because he could have hurt and assaulted someone else, he could have carjacked someone, he could have done a multitude of things.
The suspect, who hasn't been named publicly by Halton Regional Police, is charged with mischief under $5,000, assault causing bodily harm, and assault with a weapon.
Never even seen anyone get arrested before, so that was definitely like, oh, that's an extreme.
You got a naked guy.
I got a naked guy. The guy's running naked. Holy. And my dad, I feel like after this experience, we're definitely trauma bonded in a way I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I agree.
That's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. Wow, that's a story to tell.
Slice Pizza in Towson is going to give you a free pizza pie for the rest of your life if you can identify a naked burglar.
This perpetrator, he's trying to shield his identity by putting his clothing over his head.
Honestly, thought I was dead. I was going to die that night.
She's trying to make her escape. Hopefully this is coming to an end, but really it's not.
Slice Pizza in Towson is going to give you a free pizza pie for the rest of your life if you can identify a naked burglar.
It's 8 a.m. at family-owned Slice Pizza, and Yanni Rizas arrives to open up for business as usual.
They get to their pizzeria and they can see that their door has been broken into and that inside the establishment, it's been ransacked. Thankfully, the perpetrator is not there. Wanting to understand what happened, the business owner decides to sit down and take a look at their security footage. They see the suspect inside the establishment, rummaging through the business, locating the cash register, slamming the cash register drawer to the floor, and he's naked.
While putting the ransacked restaurant back together, the owner realizes how the burglar ended up in the buff.
To come in from the roof, his pants got stuck in the ductwork, so he had to climb out of those, and he actually fell into Slice. So I guess he was going commando because he was running around naked in the back.
He realizes the burglar had come in through the heating vent. And as he lands on the floor with no pants, so what does he do? He decides to be consistent. He takes off the rest of his clothes. Why? Who the heck knows?
This perpetrator was thinking that he could be surveilled because he's trying to shield his identity by putting his clothing over his head. The suspect takes a little bit of cash and some checks, and then he leaves.
With footage of the perpetrator, the restaurant owner contacts police in hopes he can be quickly apprehended.
The business owner doesn't just have the security footage. He tells them about a suspicious car that was lurking in the alleyway.
The business owners offer a reward. Anyone who can provide information that will lead to the identity of the suspect is promised pizza for the rest of their life.
Unfortunately, a lifetime of cheesy goodness fails to entice anyone to come forward with information. But a few days later, police get a break when the suspect tries to make his naked gambit pay off.
He takes one of the stolen checks to the same bank that the business owner uses and tries to cash it. This provides a great link for law enforcement because the bank video footage shows the same vehicle that was mentioned by the business owner. So the perpetrator just keeps going to places with cameras to commit his crimes.
Police link the car to 23-year-old Jonathan Newman, and it's his nakedness that unrobes his anonymity.
I think what the perpetrator didn't think about was all the identifying marks on his body in the form of tattoos. If you're going to commit a crime like this, don't have so much ink.
11 days after the burglary, police locate Newman in a surprising place.
What was ironic is that police officers located the suspect behind the pizza establishment where he had committed the crime about a week later.
Jonathan Newman is charged with second and fourth-degree burglary, malicious destruction of property, theft, and forgery. He pleads guilty and is sentenced to 10 years in prison, with all but 3 years suspended.
Initially, the business owner offered free pizza for life for anybody that helped capture this guy. But when the police did it, he went ahead and offered the police free pizza for a month. I would have been in that place every day.
Incredible video of a naked man on a rampage in Orange County.
I can't imagine being this woman. I would be trying to figure out, what is he doing?
Incredible video of a naked man on a rampage in Orange County.
That man stripped off all of his clothes in this field behind me, then he jumped over the fence.
It was a naked rampage unlike anything we've ever seen before.
It's shortly before midnight when Clarissa Vidrio leaves her home and enters her complex's parking lot. Like most nights, she is off to her shift as an overnight security guard.
As she enters her car, all of a sudden, there's a commotion in the stall immediately adjacent to hers.
Here comes a completely nude man, full sprint, who launches himself into the rear window of a minivan.
I can't imagine being this woman. I would probably freeze for several minutes. I would be trying to figure out, who is this guy? He doesn't belong here. He doesn't live here. What is he doing?
He did it with sufficient enough force to break the glass, knock himself down, but then he gets right up. And he just shakes it off. So obviously he's impervious to any feeling of real pain. And so at this point, he's a very, very dangerous individual.
She's trying to make her escape. She's in her car. She's thinking, hopefully this is coming to an end. But really, it's not. Because he then jumps right on the top of her car. The fact that the suspect could even get up after this incident is incredible in and of itself. But then to pick a new target and jump onto her car, it's insane.
He's holding on to the hood of the car. She starts turning to the left and turning to the right, and then she accidentally hits the very car that the guy had just gone headfirst into. And although he is finally dislodged from her car, she unfortunately then crashes her car again into another wall at the apartment complex.
Going through that rearview window and then jumping on the car as the female resident is trying to flee and then being flung off of it, all the while he's naked. I'm sure there are injuries to his body that he probably is going to regret he did any of that stuff.
The other residents in this apartment complex hear this commotion, and they come out just to see what the hell is going on in the garage. And the residents start calling 911. They're approaching him to render aid, and he suddenly just gets up like nothing happened and starts running.
The suspect is apprehended a mile away. He is identified as 21-year-old Garrett Smith. He's charged with being under the influence, vandalism, and resisting arrest.
What this female resident did is appropriate for the circumstances. I would tell my wife to do the same thing. Get out of there as quickly as possible, any way that you can.
Honestly, thought I was dead. I was gonna die that night.
You might laugh and think it's funny how the guy just gets up, falls down, gets up, fall down. But there's also someone else in this story, the woman who felt like she was held hostage in that car while this was happening.
Clarissa attests to this on the local news.
It's hard for me to come outside at night the way I used to. I need someone to come with me.
This doesn't last for one night. This is something that lasts a lifetime.
This season on Exposed, naked crimes,
Drop the sword! Drop it!
nude and unpredictable criminals,
Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
dangerously out of control,
There's an intruder in my house. He's naked.
Get the out of here, bro!
All of a sudden, there's a naked man beating people up.
Call the police! Call the police!
He's really amped up. He's acting very aggressive, and all the while, he's naked.
Swear to God, white dude, naked as a jaybird, on an ATV.
The naked man sitting on the back of the fire truck, I'm Randy Travis.
This is a country superstar, an idol. And did I mention he's naked?
You're a dead man by tomorrow.
Clearly, nothing is going to stop him from getting in there.
Back here now. Get back here.
It's something out of a horror movie.
Give me the key.